So what is being expressed is that it's over. It's over. The pursuit for that unquestionable liberation through questions that demands an answer just leads to more questions, that leads to answers, that leads to more questions, to an illusory, infinite looping of what can never be figured out. It's over. There are no answers because there was never a question. Questions and answers are from the same cloth of this illusory veil of separation. There is no beginning or end. This is the Alpha and the Omega. It's over. Even if it feels that it's not over, it's over. It's over. Even that never-ending longing for peace that can never be understood is peace, no matter what kind of misunderstandings appear, no matter what kind of comprehending tries to grasp something that is already peace. It's always at peace, always resting in peace. It's over. The silence has never left. The silence is infinitely here. No matter how much sound is made, it cannot make any noise without silence. It does not matter because it's over. No matter how much noise it makes as a teaching or even as a no teaching, it's all pointless noise that cannot be eradicated because it's already silent. It's over, although it never really started. Seeking just appears in thoughts, in trying to understand, trying to grab something that cannot be grabbed because it's in everything. It's like looking for something that appears in everything. It's over. There's no more hiding and seeking because it appears as everything already. The concept of liberation is over because it cannot be conceptualized. For many apparent individuals, it's commonly perceived as the pursuit of pleasure, the anticipation, of a future, of a utopia, a paradise, a place where pain can be eradicated and rewards are abound. It's over because it's already this, not as a concept, not as an idea, but just simply this, simply not two. It's over because it's infinitely this already. It's over despite of what is thought of something that's lacking. Even lacking is everything. When someone mentions that there's something lacking, well, that's a part of everything. Lacking or there's no lacking is just concepts of something that's already whole and complete. It's over because it's already not two. It might appear as two, it might be comprehended as two, but there's no division outside of words, outside of concepts. So the seeking is over, not for you, but the seeking is over for the individual. It can keep on seeking in words, in concepts and thoughts, but what's being expressed here is that they're all irrelevant. Like a fresh morning that appears, the sun rising, the crisp air, the trees, the leaves, the goldenness of everything, even the darkness that appears is already what it is. So trying to look for a better morning, trying to look for a next morning is over because that's just appearing as something that comes and goes. So the good news is that it's already the case no matter what it is. No matter what is thought, no matter what is grasped, no matter what is missing, it's already the case. And there's nothing really missing because it's in everything. It's already over. And despite of what anyone thinks, despite of what anyone says even, it's over. The era of speakers, seekers, teachers is over. There's really no division. It's this and this and this. And even that is saying way too much. The mystery is the mystery. The incomprehensible is the incomprehensible. The unspeakable is the unspeakable. Yet all of these talk seems to appear in trying to understand, speak about something that cannot be spoken about. It's already here. It's always been here. So it's over. And no matter what I say or not say, it's over. It's finished. It's done. That husky voice is coming back. So the collapse of seeking, the collapse of everything, the collapse of knowing, the collapse of understanding, the collapse of trying to get to the next, the seeming transparency that there's no golden carrot because everything is here already. There's no new next, there's no future outside of a thought of a future. There's no past, it's already this. And it's hard to understand something that does not need to be understood. It's hard to grasp something that's ungraspable. And that's the simplicity of it. The simplicity is that there's nothing to grasp. There's nothing to understand. There's nothing to know because it's already here. And all of these words, if they are collapsed, meaning that if they're all muted, if this is just stillness moving or silence sounding, it's already the case. It's over. Not for the idea of the seeker, but in the absence of that idea, the absence that there's something missing. It's always over. It's over when the character goes to bed at night. It's over when the character wakes up and it seemingly starts all over again. That there's something missing, that there's something lacking, that there's something that needs to be comprehended. Everything is a celebration already of what is, the simplicity of what seems to appear, the simplicity of the directness, that what can't be talked about is always, what can't be understood is always. And I know you're probably hearing this is it or whatever, but that is not even it. It can be said that this is it and also not it. So whatever seems to appear is always it. It's over because everything is it already. It is talking to it. It is expressing to it. It is listening to it. What it is looking for is already it. So it is looking for it when it's already it. So it's over. There is already no time. It's an illusion. There's no distance. There's no meaning. But just a celebration of whatever seems to appear. Celebration, even if it does not want to be celebrated. What seems to be obvious is not obvious for anyone. But it's quite obvious when it's seen that there's no one that it's obvious for. That there's really no one here and no one there. Even if it feels that there's someone here and there's someone there. Oftentimes, what's being talked about seems to collapse that idea of this or that. Seemingly sometimes when what seems to be heard as a word is just really silent, appearing with sounds. Sometimes when What's being expressed cannot be expressed. The sincerity comes out, that energetic sincerity that it's already here, that there's nothing to give, there's nothing to get, because it's already complete. And there's really no one to convince. And there's nothing that I can do to convince, because it is already what it is. There seems to be just this play of this or that, a play of light, so to speak, a play of separation. But that's even it. So it's over, and hooray. If you want to talk and go back and forth in discussing what seems to be already obvious, not in words, not in concepts, but in the wholeness of everything, please raise your hand and laugh about it, or talk about it, or question, argue about it, although every discussion is a moot point because it's already the case. And if you're scratching your head to what's being said, that's it too. So please go ahead if you have any questions. And cheers. Can you say a little bit more about what it means that I am everything but without the me? So what seemingly is being longed for is that absence of separation, the absence of the me, the absence of that, meaning that when there is no me, it's everything. When there's no I, there's no division. There's no separation. There's no you and I. It's like that innocent baby that just looks at the world and does not know what separation is. So what it means that I am everything is just a concept. But when the concept drops away and the I drops away, it can't even be expressed as whatever it is. There's just this wholeness, this completeness, this non-separateness that sometimes appears as a separation, that appears as feelings, that appears as a lack, that appears as something missing. But it's just appearances in what seemingly is already complete. Great to hear you, Emerson. I'm going to sign out and back. Okay, yeah, no problem. Tyler, hello.
Hey, Emerson.
Hello.
Nice to be with you.
Yeah, nice to hear you too. I can barely hear you though, Tyler.
How about now? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. It's so funny because I've been watching these videos forever. Tony Parsons, all these guys. I came into the non-dual idea. It almost like found me. Felt like when I was very young, I had this wild experience, and I know that this isn't an experience. I know it's not something that can be objectified. I
Yeah.
recognize all that, but the
And that's
words
okay. That's okay. Yeah.
obviously are limited. But there were these at the moment that I had this experience, it felt like everything was welcoming me into this almost like secret. It felt like everything was like, see, it was all just this big secret that everybody knew already, and that
Yeah.
and we were all playing this trick. And when I say all of us, it's like everything, like every object, everything was like playing this trick on me, like as if almost like I was being initiated or something. I don't even know how to describe it, but like I had been awake. I'd woken up from this dream of being in this separated sense of self, but it still felt like there was like like a body mind, like I was seeing through my eyes and in a body, but that everything was just so much lighter. So it's difficult for me. I mean, because I remember kind of now I remember that energy of contraction coming back,
Yeah.
and I still do feel it to this day. In a sense, I still feel like there's a me. And I've experimented with like psychedelics, and I'll
Yeah.
have these moments like where where suddenly everything that's discussed in these meetings is all of a sudden so clear, and I understand. It's like, oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
But how is it possible that something that isn't happening could seem to happen? How
Yeah.
is it? Because it does seem that that's what's happening. Like it
It's
seems
a
that.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, you go ahead. That's it.
So it seems like a paradox, right? That there is a happening, but when it's seen, not by anyone, when the obviousness is that there is just this autonomous happening, meaning it's like I'll say it really, really clearly, kind of like when you're having a dream of reality, and then all of a sudden you wake up, from that dream, and everything that seemed to be absolutely real, including you, is just a dream. So everything vanishes. So there's this momentary lapse of clarity, right? There's just this little kind of like window of clarity that appears, right? So at that very moment, it's very obvious that nothing is real, nothing really exists. And then seemingly the that energetic contraction, whatever you might want to call it, the thought comes in that, oh, that was a really nice dream. I was in it. But in that little gap, you know what I'm saying? That little gap of just emptiness, pure emptiness, like deep sleep, right? Nothing really happened. It's almost like um, waking up and you had this whole life. I've talked to people that had this whole life, like a month of a dream, and then you wake up and none of that happened. You see what I'm getting at here? So
Yeah.
that seeming glimpse is kind of like when you were a kid. It's almost like that it collapsed, but the reasoning came in that this happened to me. Oh, I had a dream when I was a kid that, but that's the entire dream, including the narration, including the saying that um I had, there was the moment that I had a glimpse as a kid. That's the entire dream. So the dream, if you really look at the completeness of the dream, for example, right? Was there a dreamer in the dream?
Was there a dreamer in the
Yeah.
dream?
Was there
Like,
anything real in that dream? Basically, is what I'm trying to get at.
um, yeah, no,
No, yeah.
no. And it was all occurring within
The dream.
the dream. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when it said that it's happening, but it's not happening because that one that it's happening to is a dream. So everything that is happening to that apparent individual is a happening and unhappening. So it seems like it's happening, but at the same time, since it's already, it somehow it got figured out that there's really no one. You know what I'm saying? Not as a concept, not as an idea, but just kind of like, okay, this is all happening automatically. This is like a dream. Even that is saying too much, right? Because it cannot really be figured out. There's this mystery that seems to appear as this reality that seems to, appear in time, although time is an illusion, that seems to appear as reality, although there's no reality. So all this seeming kind of like, oppositions, kind of like um, contradictions, right? Of something that's whole. So all of this stuff that appears as me or no me, happening or not happening, is an entire dream. Does that make any
So,
sense? Yeah.
yes. So okay. So the crazy thing about that time,
Yeah.
and even like the practice of like having a psychedelic experience, is that it seems that there's something that can be done to reveal that. Because at the time when I was going through that, for some reason, I had hit a really low spot in my life.
Yeah.
It was such a hard time for me, and I just was like, I just remember kind of this surrender experience where I
Yeah.
just was like, okay, like I'm done, and I
Yeah.
started just sitting and being still, like for just hours of at a time, just not not doing anything. And it seemed that that was what was needed to actually see what was. So then what happens in my mind now is that I think, oh, there's something that I can
Of
do
course. Yeah.
in order to like recreate that.
Yes, of course. And in the dream, there might be an idea that there's something that you can do. In the dream, there's even an idea when it's really lucid that you can end the dream, that you can wake up from this dream. But all of that seeming kind of like ideas, when the moment that you open your eyes from a nighttime dream, none of that even happened. None of that is true.
So then last question, and
Yeah,
I'll
no
let you.
problem.
Yeah.
We can keep on going. I like the questions.
Okay. Okay. So, um, oh man, it's gone now. Okay. So then for say the Emerson,
Yeah.
body mind, the is it as though you're seeing a dream and not believing in it? Is it just that it's
It's just seeing that there's no
seeming to
Emerson. It's a dream.
say that one more
It's
time? I'm
it's
sorry.
seeing that there's no Emerson. Really, it's a dream.
So
So
then is
everything is
there
whole. Yeah,
right? So then is there anything real at all?
that's just even a concept in a dream, right? Or even unreal. So nothing is real or unreal. It's just this that can't be talked about, right?
Mm.
The more direct it is, the more unknowable it is. There's no more kind of like ideas about this is either this or that, all of these concepts. So when all the concepts collapse, right? Because the concept can only be held by a character. When it's seen, it's kind of like, for example, your entire life you believed in the Easter bunny, right? And then um you you think that the
Wait,
Easter bunny
you're
hit. Oh,
telling me the Easter Bunny is not real either?
yeah, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So your whole life, and then
Right.
you catch that one moment that you catch your mom hiding all of these chocolates, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you play along with it still, but you know that there's no more Easter bunny, right? So it ruins that thing, and it just keeps on going, right? But you know that everything that you believed about the Easter bunny is completely made up. So that's the same as kind of like that seeming shift in perception that, oh no, there's no one here doing any of this, even if it feels absolutely real, even if it feels like that this is something that is unquestionable. It's like sometimes you have a dream that you don't question it, but the moment that you wake up, you're like, oh, none of it happened. I don't really speak French and I don't live in Paris or something. But your whole dream, oh, you were speaking French. I've had a dream like that before that I was in Paris and I was a French guy. So none of that. But you don't question it during that dream or whatever. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems that living as a self is so tiresome that I just keep falling asleep
Yeah. It's
to
almost
that.
like it's almost like in the dream you keep on hitting the snooze button.
Yeah.
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 When it's already awake. But no one's choosing to do that anyway, right? Because that's also a dream. But
Yeah.
when it's seen, so it's the conundrum is what's being presented here is like it's like a sobriety from all of that intoxicating ideas about awakening and seeing that it's already awake or whatever. It's already the case. It's already it, no matter what it is, right? And then there's an idea like, well, I can't wait for that to happen when I'm seeing everything as whole or whatever. But that's just another concept, isn't it? So without any thoughts or any ideas, when there is no source, meaning that the individual is the source of knowledge or understanding or question, then everything is just as it is, this mystery that is just wow. So the questions and the answers collapse. It's like, okay, that's it. So it's almost like every moment is it's over. That's kind of like what I said. It's like, oh, it's over. Everything that seems to arise, it's like, it's over. It's kind of like seeing the time collapse and there's really no time. So everything that appears in time, in this segment of time, the linearity of it, is just a concept. So seeing through the concept is like it's like everything happening all at once and seeing that, oh, none of this is happening at the same time, but not from an individual perspective, but seeing that the individual perspective is a dream. You know what I'm saying? It's an illusion. It's not really real.
It's no different than the apparent happening outside of the seeming self.
That's right. Yeah. So it's already the case no matter what it is. It's almost just kind of like snapping out of it. You're like, because when there was this neurotic seeking that's happening, right? All I kind of kept on going back and forth. Like, I had so many glimpses. I want that glimpse again. But is blindfolding itself with the ideas of glimpses and not seeing the totality of this, not seeing the extraordinariness in the most mundane, the little things that appear. It looks for a hope for a better when there's nothing better than this. It rejects the gift of the isness and hoping for a future gift in Christmas. So it still believes in Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny. I'm sorry, man. Maybe the Tooth Fairy
Appreciate
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. It's just, and it's not even, it's kind of like, you've had that seeming experience, right, of clarity. And the contraction just seems to appear. It's like, it's kind of like no one notices that when they wake up from a dream, they go back to the dream right away. When they try to figure out what that was. You can say that thinking is a dream. Thoughts are a dream. Ideas are a dream.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the infinite dreaming of time in thoughts of
Yeah.
what's next when it's infinite already.
Yeah. I remember the moment I had in the depth of that suffering, I would like in my desperation, I tried some just radical experiment, which was just to open my eyes really wide and just look at the wall and just look at the wall. And for that moment that I was focused on the wall, there was nothing wrong.
Yes.
And it was just this like, I was like, wow, that was interesting. And it kind of seemed to develop, but
Yeah. I've always shared this, but when I was really, when I was really just getting really frustrated with seeking, I kept on hitting the wall over and over and over again. It was just nuts because it was almost like insanity because it's repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result when basically seeking just keeps on just creating this idea that there's something lacking. It's like trying to find a word that will set you free in a jazz masterpiece of Miles Davis that's just all instrumentals. You will never find it because there are no words that can describe this.
yeah, I'm a musician, so you're speaking my language now.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
It's like looking for chord in a drum beat.
Yeah. Hey, you could find it. I bet you could find it. Those drums
let,
are tuned,
let me know if you find one.
Well, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello, Joe. Hi, Joe.
Hi, how you doing?
How you doing?
I'm all right, pretty good, I
That's
guess.
good.
You know, I love like the whole like dream analogy thing, because like and like how every single word is just completely pointless to say, but so free at the same time. I've been noticing.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't words, man. The whole thing with like you're dreaming and then you wake up from the dream and it's over, and it always feels so
Is
real.
I'm okay? Or is it
Huh?
just me? Go a little bit closer to your microphone.
Is that better?
Yes. Thank you.
Um, so like I've been sleeping a lot,
Yeah.
like a lot more than I guess I want to say that I used to.
Yeah.
Way to say it, but like it's like there are no like non-duality meetings in the dream.
No.
It's like, and like I wake up and in that moment of kind of like you open your eyes and it's like the dream didn't even happen, but then like I'll start talking about it and I'd be
Yeah.
like I'm not even talking about it.
Yeah.
It's just happened like right now it's just kind of happening.
Yeah.
It's so strange. Like I'll immediately start thinking about like, oh, like that was a crazy dream or whatever. And I'll just like sit here and talk to myself for an hour. And then after I'll be like, I was just talking about like what? Like what was that? That was so weird.
Yeah. Nuts, huh?
Weird, man. And like sometimes I'll feel like, well, I gotta go like talk to someone or
Yeah.
whatever.
It's isolating someone when there is this clarity that you can't talk about to anyone, if you know what I mean. You know, there's just it because it can't um really be expressed, you know, and it is just illogical and it's just it doesn't make sense at all.
Oh.
You know.
And then like trying to like capture it, you know. I like taking pictures and stuff, but it's like it's quite obvious that you can't even in trying to like capture it, it's like it can't be. Every word, every single thing is it. And you know, take a picture of like I was like on a bike ride earlier and um I'll like take a few pictures here and there and it's like it's almost like taking away it's not taken away from it, but it's like wanting to like share that. You
Yeah,
know,
and that's it too.
it's like the whole thing is like I love posting pictures of sunsets and this and that.
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm quiet.
that's okay.
Um, and in every post, I'll have like a caption that says like this can't be captured, and it's
Yeah.
almost like it completely just like destroys the whole point of like posting in the first place. But it's like you can still do it, you know. Doesn't
And that's
matter.
okay too. That's okay to do that too. You know what I'm saying? It's just, again, there's just it's just whatever is appearing is it. Even trying to caption the incapturable, trying to, you know, put like whatever, right? It's the same thing that this character is doing right now, is it's really speaking the unspeakable. Yet it's appearing as speaking of something that cannot be spoken about, right?
And, you know, like I was like, it's weird because when I was younger, I was like able to just go out and like do stuff, just do whatever, not worry about you know what's gonna happen. Not I wouldn't think about that at all. I just go out for a bike ride and you know whatever happened happened. And then this like feeling of like I don't know the feeling of becoming. That's like probably the most suffering. It's not really happening here anymore. But like it used to feel like I have to become a musician. And it's like well I'm already
Yeah.
you know like I gotta put this music out because I need to be you know I need something to happen with it. And it's like now I just put out music just for fun.
Yeah. There's always a pursuit of something to happen next, right? Something better than this, something other than this, something that can give me rewards, basically, right? When there is a reward at the end of it. If I put out music, you know, it's just always, it's almost like this never ending game of self-fulfillment. But when it's seen that there's really no self to fulfill,
Boy, I'll tell you, going for a bike ride just
yeah,
for the sake of riding,
yeah,
like not having to go anywhere specific. And even if that happens, that's you know that is what it is too. But like, I love just going out for a bike ride, and it's like the whole story of like, especially this whole recovery place. Everyone's trying to, you know, essentially better themselves, and it's like when you go out alone and you're just alone, and you just wherever you are, and it's like all of that just stops, you know.
yes,
And it's like you're almost like you're not like outside the story, but
yes,
in a way you kind of just like everyone's just driving by doing their thing and
beautiful, yeah, that's it, yeah.
that's it.
It's like that. I remember those bike rides when I was a kid, right? And I've always, you know, when every time that I was suffering, so to speak, you know, when I was seeking, there was always a longing for that recapture, that freedom. But that freedom is in everything.
Yeah,
It just hides the freedom by thinking that there's a better freedom based on an imaginary idea of what happened before. So it almost kind of like creates this constant obscuring of what is free already by creating something that seems to compare what is and what is not.
Which is freedom too.
Which is freedom too. That's right. Yeah. And that's often missed, right? That even the comparison is it. No, thank you, Joe. Oh, sorry. Unless you want to.
I love just like talking, just like really, it's weird. Like I used to feel like I'm getting something out of a conversation, but now it's like I just like to listen to someone else's story. You know, like they just
Yeah.
tell me, and it used to be so hard to just sit there and listen.
Yeah.
Or even just to be able to tell them whatever, and it's like I'm free to just sit there and listen and talk or whatever, and it's like
it is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. It's nice. I don't know. That's all I gotta say, I guess.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's a question. Who sees that there is no separate self? That whole idea that there is a seer, an observer, is just another thought. So when the thinker is seen as irrelevant, meaning that it's not really there, so all the thoughts of a self-separation, non-separation collapses. And what seems to appear is just this directness of speaking, but there's no one speaking, so to speak. And even that is just another concept or an idea of something that cannot really be figured out. So what seems to be appearing is whole. So there is no separation. That idea of there is a witness or an observer that's seeing this collapses, kind of like when it's seen, kind of like what I was explaining earlier, when there is this dream, when it's seen that everything is just a dream, everything in a dream is a dream. Separation, non-separation, me, no me, you, I, it's just completely, it's just seen. It's just poof. And then of course, there's an explanation of what seemed to be seen as completely absent, and it fills it with stories. And although that's also it, right? So the thinker, the observer, the dreamer is seen as not separate from what is the dream. So there's no separate self or no self that needs to appear. It's already the case. You can also ask a private question if you like. If you want to be anonymous or something.
Hello, Emerson.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Who's that?
Mark.
Oh, hi. How are you doing, Mark?
Good.
Oh, I forgot to
Hi.
message you. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. That's all
How are you doing?
right. All right. I guess.
All right. Okay.
Always weird coming to these meetings because I'm like, yeah, I'll have like a tough or like sort of like just in like very sort of neurotic just day or week, and then I will come here and then just yeah,
Everything. It's like a melting thing.
Yeah, but it's like you then you I mean yeah, you know, you can't like I can't sustain it here in a way, or like you can't. I don't know.
Yeah. So what's being
I
expressed is not really a state, right? It's almost like a seeing through that what seems to appear like ideas about freedom or non-freedom is just irrelevant. because everything is just is.
Right.
Kind of like when you came a couple of weeks ago, right? You didn't even know how to explain this. Like you were just, I think you were talking about showering, and it's just what is. But even that heavy thought and everything is also it.
Right.
Yeah. So it's always it, no
Yeah.
matter what it is. Yeah. But there seems to be a so whatness to whatever seems to appear. Like a peace with it. Like it's being at peace with no matter what seems to arise. Not as a state,
Yeah.
not as a construct, not as a doing, but no matter what seems to appear, doing or non-doing, is just at peace with it. It's like bring it on, whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what Joe said about like this always feels like it has to become something, or it has to,
Yeah.
you know, always looking for the next thing, become something else, something better, something, yeah, whatever is very
There's always a
exhausting. It can
next,
feel
right?
like, yeah,
Because when the thought arises that there is, for example, he will say something like, I wish I could be having that whatever Emerson's experiencing. So it denies what is appearing as already complete and creates this, alternate idea about what should be.
mm,
And it always
yeah,
creates this seeming obscuring of something that's already, no matter what it is. So it disturbs the silence, because silence, and then it creates a noise of basically kind of like, complaining that, oh, you know what, I wish it was something better. And that's basically what fuel seeking is. Like, there's got to be something better than this.
yeah,
Yeah. When it's always the case, no matter what it is.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the constant looping, or what you say as well, like the constant
Looping. Yeah.
looping of trying to find something else, or whatever the fuck you want to say. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And again, it's nothing that I can say really, because it's already,
No,
it's what's often missed, what's often overlooked is just this unshakable silence that appears as sound, that appears as thoughts, that appears as whatever. It's all emanating from this unknowable-ness. It appears
right.
as knowing, it appears as unknowing, when it's always it. So it's almost like a shift in perception, right? Because the perception seems to be in the noise. And when that shifts and it sees that the noise is also silent, then everything just
Yeah,
falls. If you know what I'm talking about, right? Because you've had that seeming
yeah, like the
appearance.
equalness, like sound and silence was the same. Like it was like, yeah, there was no difference in what was said. Like the words
Yeah.
had no
Relevance.
nothing, no word, yeah, no relevance, and nothing, no word was more important than another word. It was like
Yeah.
it was only the sound, you know,
Yeah.
whatever was said. Like it could be the most outrageous thing, it could be a very nice positive thing. It was like the same. It's
Yeah.
the way,
Nothing disturbs that peace.
yeah,
And that's that's being talked about, right? It often overlooks that undisturbable peace and focuses on the creates this separateness and focuses on the noise that it makes. But the noise is just a distortion of that undisturbable peace. It's an illusion of that, meaning it's the same. That's why when you're saying that no matter what is said, it didn't matter anymore. It could be the most outrageous claim. It could be like a whisper or a scream, and it's the same. Yeah. Just like this.
yeah.
Yeah. I like that part in a one-on-one, usually when everything just quiets a little bit at the end, and then laughter kind of like just appears, because there's really nothing to say.
Right, but it's like from the vantage point of whatever the seeker, whatever, it's like the noise is important in a way, or it
Of
has
course,
like,
because
it has meaning. It's leading
the
to,
noise will just make more noise.
right.
The noise will make noise that there's something missing. The noise will make noise that there's something that it needs to get. The noise will make noise that it can't seem to find the peace. It's all noise. It's all static. That's why it's already over. It's just a lot of noise that it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've had glimpses of that it's already over, right? It's like, it's over. And then one day again, you know what, you'll hear someone that say that, you know, you'll compare it like, I want that, you know, like.
Yeah, like comparing with the words like freedom, although people say like, it's
It's like that talk that we had on the beach or something that you didn't even know what was said. It's already over. But not according to you. But there's no you at the same time.
Right.
So,
but yeah.
Go ahead, sorry.
Well, this is just whatever, but like, it seems that it's gotten easier for me now to listen to whatever speakers. Like I think I used to before. There used to be a lot of sort of opposition or resistance, but now it's like I can finally listen to it now, and I don't know, it's just more quiet. But
yeah. There's silence in the words now. There's silence in the words now, right? There's the quietude now that appears with whatever is being said.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Are you sure?
No.
But message me again. We're supposed to talk and just completely, you know. I don't check Instagram that much. So WhatsApp me.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
and sometimes I forget that too, to be honest, right? So
okay.
just keep on messaging me.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. There's a question here. Individual is the source of knowledge. According to Emerson, the Bible says that we are living in the Garden of Eden and are driven out when we eat the tree of knowledge. The process of thinking, the distorted views, illusions, delusions of understanding. Now, typically, there appears to be seeing and an object of seeing two different things, two separate things, two separate names, interpreted as two. It's thank you for sharing that. Yeah, you know what seems to appear, right, when there is a knowing, and this is going to be nuts, right? When there's a knowing, there is an individualization that I know. It's a very sly I know. It's a very also it's a very kind of like soft, like subtle, that there's someone that knows. So what is already innocent, when it's divided by knowing, then it creates that there's someone out or in, that someone that knows or not, that there's someone or not someone, that there is a God or not, that there's a paradise or not. So the appearance of the knowledge, when the knowledge is becomes the identity of an individual, then it creates this facade that is almost like unbreakable because it thinks it knows. And that seeming kind of like, knowing, or it thinks it needs to know, right? So it's run by this knowledge that seems to be continuous, that seems to create this historical knowledge of something, or a lack of it. So if you want to look, if you want to, if you want to use that biblical thing about the Garden of Eden, if God did not appear in the Garden of Eden, there'll be no separation. So the catalyst of separation actually is God, meaning higher and lower. Not knowledge, really. It's just another idea, right? So the knowledge of God creates this division, seemingly, when there's really no division. You can say that it's all God or no God. But the knowledge of someone, you know what I'm saying, of some higher being, creates this lower, this shame, something wrong, something missing, something lacking. So it's like the catalyst for separation. When it's seen that there's really no separation, that there's no others, there's no individuals, then it's all paradise or all God. Not as a knowable God, but just all God, unknowable. Meaning it's a return to innocence that was never left. It's always been paradise. Just the thought of something missing or some hierarchy, some imaginary things that seem to create this delusion that there's something lacking, that there's something to be afraid or ashamed of, creates this division, that there's something that needs to be done to be able to enter back into something that was never left. Without the story of that, then everything is still innocent. But kids don't know that story and they don't see any division. It's just what is. So why did they have to write a book about it? Everything that appears in this dream is to reinforce that separation. Kind of like what, and it was not really written. It's just appearing as just separation. It's just division. Everything that's written coming from a place of knowledge is just division. That there's someone that knows and someone that does not know. And it's very contradictory. I don't even use biblical stuff unless someone asks about it, because it's just all mythology.
Emerson, that was what I meant. Why did they even have to write a book about it then? Because then it's pointing out the obvious that it's separated.
Yeah. It's mythology basically trying to reinforce separation, right? So, and it's almost like very very kindergarten. It's like a fear.
Actually,
to keep
actually,
the kids at bay. Yeah, you're wrong and you're right.
Yeah. Like writing the book actually created the separate, like you said, the minute God appeared, then then it was separating.
Then there's no more paradise,
yeah. And the minute they wrote the Bible, there's no more paradise.
That's right. Yeah. So it misses what is already here by creating all of these concepts of hierarchies, that someone holds the key. Now there's a kingdom. Now there's a key, there's a gates. Now there's
something you have to go back to.
Something that you have to go back to, right? But it deludes the what already is clearly as it is by creating stories, mythology of separation. And we can even go directly, like words, like it's like if a seeker has basically turn all the stones, then one day it will turn the stone that all even the words that make up sentences, mythology, are all made up. So there is this made up dream, like appearance of something that is neither real or unreal, without any words or concepts. It's paradise appearing as it is. To be able to experience this blissfulness, there has to be some form of suffering. To be experienced, experience this pleasure, there has to be pain. So it's a dream of duality, but there's really no duality because it's a dream. So it's like this wonderland, you know what I'm saying? Of separate appearances, that suffering might appear. And then when it's seen that there's really no one suffering, then you're like, oh, wow. But it felt absolutely real. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like, when I was talking to someone earlier today about, we were comparing about suffering. I was not able to get out of bed. I was so depressed. And then now when it's seen that that's also it, that's also what seems to be longed for, is also appearing as someone that can't get out of bed. Someone is longing for liberation. Someone that's wishing for something to happen. Someone, kind of like what Joe said, someone that's waiting for the next, which is also it. So it's always it, no matter what is it. But somehow the thinking that it's not it creates this a dream within a dream, that there's something missing.
Yeah, duality is just something
Yeah.
made up. It's
Yeah,
also just fantasy.
it's fantasy. It's
Yeah.
fantasy.
It doesn't exist at all.
It doesn't exist, yeah.
No.
But it feels like it exists. You know what I'm saying? It's not a denial. You know what I'm
No.
saying?
Yeah.
But it's just a direct seeing that if there is no separation, then reality and non-reality is the same. That illusion and reality is just an appearance.
Yeah, like those words just doesn't mean anything. They have,
No, yeah.
it's like it's just words made up to compare.
That's right, yeah.
Like endless comparison of black and
Yeah.
white and red and green and and all these.
And that's what appears in non-duality, right? There's endless
Yeah.
comparisons about
Yeah.
this one is right, that one is wrong, but all of it are just made up.
Yeah,
Because right and wrong is made up.
Yeah, because non-duality was just made up because there was a belief in duality.
Exactly, yeah.
And duality is also made up, so everything
It is, yeah. So it's like looking at a dream and saying, oh, no, that part of the dream is real and the rest is not real. Contradictions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the way.
All the way. It's either it's all illusion, or there's no illusion at all. It can't be both.
No, it can't be half-half. It's all.
It can't be half-half, yeah. It's all an illusion, yeah. And it's brilliant. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Joe. Hey, Joe.
Hey. I just thought just came up, which was like,
yeah, for sure.
Really even the whole like questioning of like, why was it written is also technically separated.
Yeah.
Why can't it be written? It is written, so it's like, why not?
Yeah. It's the seeing of the equality of everything. The questions and answers are the same. The whys and why nots are the same, yeah.
Even if there's a guy that he'll like ask me like a question, it's like an open-ended question, and it's like there's not like an answer for it, you know.
Yeah.
He talks about a lot about like essence and stuff. I'm like, there's not really an essence though. You know, this whole idea of like you live on after you die is like, it's silly because it's like, how would you know that if you're alive?
Yeah.
If you're not dead, then it's like, where's that coming from?
Yes.
I don't know. It's kind of get used to it. We're all silly. Because like, I'll say like, well, this is it, and then he'll be like, okay, now what? And it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean now what?
Yeah.
Something else has to come after that.
I like saying that this is it, even if it's not it.
Yeah.
It's all it. Yeah. There's nothing that's not it. And it creates this, that am I missing something? Even that's it also. Everything that appears is it. There's nothing that's excluded, nothing that's not allowed, right?
True. Because I mean, yeah, and you question like, why is it? And it's like, it doesn't matter. It just is, or it isn't. So many like thoughts of like, oh, I wish that this happened, or I want to do this or do that, and it's like in the wanting of it, it's like missing the point, which is like, it's almost like the idea of like, if you have,
but
like,
missing the point of is also it.
Yeah. Exactly. It's like, if you want to do something, the question would be like, why not do it? Well, because this might be the case, you know, whatever. I don't know.
Well, thank you, Joe. I like that. Yeah. Does what is know itself? How can it know itself when it's already what is? Does it need to know itself when it's already what is? That would imply that there is a separate what is if it needs to know what is. So the idea that what is does not know is a dream idea, because what is already whole. It's never been, there's no other, right? There's no two. So what is just what is. And that's how simple it is. But what is something that's unknowable, right? So it does not need to know itself because it's unknowable, meaning that it does not require knowledge of something that is not separate. And again, that's a brilliant question, because that seems to get what stuck is. It tries to know what is when it's already what is. What is seeking what is. And whatever it seeks is already what is. And again, these words are just trying to simplify something that cannot be comprehended or cannot be understood. Not as a gatekeeping, but just really because it does not need to be comprehended. It does not need to be known because it already is. It was never lost. So it does not need to be figured out. Because what is simply what is, no matter what is appearing. That's why it's over. That's why it's done. I love that Andres says it's blind. Yeah, it's blind to itself because there's no need to see something that is not separate. It's like a cup does not need to know it's a cup. It's already a cup. But what is it? So yeah, so I like, what is the word? It is just a placeholder, a sound, a simplified, label of something that cannot be labeled. That's why it's always it. It's not about understanding what it is. It's actually the irrelevance of the word. That's why it's it. It's it. It's always it, no matter what is it is. It is appearing as it. It is appearing as everything as it. What is this? This is just another word. I always say this in my meetings. Don't get caught up with the words that is being spoken here. This speaker tries to simplify things, chop it up really, really easy, and uses poetry sometimes because it cannot really be captured in words. And the danger with words is because it becomes a position, it becomes a knowing, but there's no knower. So it reinforces that there's someone that knows. It reinforces that there is someone that needs to know or needs to understand. So it creates a next. So the question creates that there's an answer that's needed. What was being expressed earlier, that the question will basically will require an answer, but the answer will require more questions. So it's just a loop of questions and answers over and over and over again, because no, this cannot be answered. It's like trying to figure out this when everything is this. It's like trying to figure it out when it is everything. It appears as everything. Simple, very, very simple. Hi, Cecilia.
Hi, Emerson.
Hello.
When you mentioned the cup is just a cup, I start kind of grinding because in our chat, I mentioned about a coffee cup.
Yes.
And at the moment that I was
Yeah.
mentioning the coffee cup, your arrow pointed right there, because I noticed right away I was talking about creation.
Oh.
That means that creation is still lingering. It was in this character.
Yeah.
But it's just a coffee cup.
It's just a coffee cup, yeah.
But because I learned about creation,
yeah, of course,
that
yeah.
I thought it was gone. No, it's there.
Yeah.
Even for the thank you for Thanksgiving, I always said, well, no, I thank for everything, because then I stopped and I thought, because the creation, there you go again.
Yeah.
You don't want to say thanks for this turkey or for whatever, because you want to say who made the turkey, who created it,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the
yeah.
turkey came from.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's
Because
just,
it maintains the individual. If there's a creator, then the individual is real.
yes.
And then there's nothing wrong or right about that. And that was the lingering, with this character, right? That was the lingering thing there, is that my ride or die is that someone created me. Then therefore I must be real. Therefore, then I must have control of this. Therefore, I might be what do you call it? All powerful. Then it just creates this specialness that you're trying to get rid of, right? Because what seems to create this suffering is that a need for specialness, a need for recognition, a need for the desire to be, satisfied. So
Yeah,
when the
that,
specialness is over, meaning that when it's seen that since the character is an appearance, it's an illusion, it's neither a self or no self, then all of its ideas, including that there's someone that created me, that I have a source, falls apart. Sometimes, what I'm saying, when a teacher or a speaker tries to comprehend this, a belief lingers on that there is a creator or a source, and that's completely perfectly all right. And that was my residue for 10 years. That was my residue, that I've always spoken that there is a creator, not in that word, I'll call it consciousness or awareness or whatever, right? And there's nothing wrong or right about that. But in that essence, then there's a duality again, right? That there's something that I need to become, that there's something that I need to be, that there's
I
something
need to
that,
behave.
yes,
That's I noticed.
I need to be corrected. I need to be, and there's nothing wrong or right about that. But and then of course then another can, like, it creates another idea that there's someone that knows about this. There is a figurehead now that appears as holy or whatever, you know what I'm saying, or someone that's wise, and I need to be that. So it just creates this separation. It's like it's beautiful when it's seen as this wholeness that seems to create this separate, it creates light and dark. It creates, but there's no one creating it. That's the thing. That's the thing that's mind-boggling, right? No one is creating this.
Right. It's so
not an
liberating to
individual. It's
have
not a being. It's not an idea.
And I think that I was going to mention another idea, a story.
Yeah.
It's so liberating to enjoy a cup of coffee. That's it, without creation.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another idea. Okay, got it. I just enjoy the turkey. Who cares who was first, the turkey or the egg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I live in a, my family's Catholic, right? So once in a while, someone will say, hey, would somebody say the grace? I still do it, you know what I'm saying? But it's irrelevant now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make a position like, oh, I don't believe in that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There's just peace with it. Thank you. And my brother chuckles now because he knows. I'm like, thank you for this beautiful food. Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking at my mom or my dad. It takes away the intoxication, the clarity of this, and the celebration of whatever seems to appear. So it's always Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But for no one.
It's like this character in
this gratefulness that appear, right? There's just
every
this
day,
gratefulness. Yeah.
Every moment. It doesn't have to be
because the concept of I deserve it or I don't deserve it is gone. Yeah.
Just
that sense of self that needs to be seemingly kind of like, validated all the time is gone. Again, it's the end of specialness. That's basically simple. It's very simple. It's the end of the special idea that there's something that that I'm going to be rewarded if I do all of these things, or I'm going to be punished.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Emerson.
Thank you, Cecilia. Thank you. So why the dream of separation? What is dreaming? The unknowable is appearing as a dream as knowable. The incomprehensible is appearing as a dream of something that can be understood. The timeless is appearing as tick-tock time, linear time. The everythingness is appearing as an individual. It's beautiful. The inexpressible is appearing as all of these expressions. The mystery is appearing as reality. It's brilliant. It's well played. It's wow. All across the board. Wow, 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 wow. How? No idea. And that's good enough. It's that enoughness, that whatever seems to appear is enough. That seeming neurosis of like, oh, I have to get here, get there, and everything. That longing for specialness has collapsed, right? It's just ordinary. The ordinary magic of the ordinary. Oh, Joe, sorry, I didn't see you. But not as a being or as an identity.
It actually seems quite functional for it to appear as like almost like a linear progression, even though it is or isn't, doesn't matter. But it's like if you were seeing it all happening at once, like if you're seeing the past, present, future all at once. Like I saw that in like a trip, and that was really really weird because it was like seeing like your hands like aging,
Yeah.
like like getting old, but also being it's weird, and it's like it seems more functional because if you're seeing it all the time, I don't know if some people see it like that or what, but it's like that's wild.
Yes.
That's wild, and like seeing that there's no like the past, present, and future is obviously just this.
It's all an appearance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's so strange. It really is. I love like, even though it can't be like thought about, but just like kind of talking about it. Like, I don't know.
I was talking to someone about this, that when there was this apparent, just seeing through clearly, but I didn't know how to talk about it. It was very isolating because it's almost like it's pointless to share it with somebody, but at the same time you want to talk to someone about it, although there's no one, right? It's beautiful.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Static is it too.
Yeah. That's okay. That's okay. It's actually really good, right? See, the static and the clarity. It's just do.
Hello, Emerson.
Oh, hello. Hi, Corey.
Oh, I was chatting away and I had the sound off.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't see you too. Sorry about that.
I'm still trying to work out how to put that yellow glove hand up, which I haven't got a symbol along the bottom, which
It's in the it's called reactions now. So there's a thing called reactions.
reactions.
Yeah.
I haven't got that. I've got participants.
Yeah.
Share screen, summary, AI companion, apps, whiteboards, notes.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh, and then I've got more.
Yes, click on more.
On more, and it just says show chat preview, record on this computer. Oh, reactions.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, right. I'm clicking on that. So it still hasn't come up.
So click on reactions and there's a raise hand button there. Yeah.
Reactions. Oh, got you.
Yeah. Hooray.
Oh, let me press on that.
Mhm.
Ah,
Ah.
I'm trying to do that for months. Oh, that's amazing. That is amazing. Good. So yeah, now I can speak.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I've got nothing to say.
Yeah. It's just so lovely to see you. It's great.
Lovely to see you. Have you got a new pair of glasses?
No, this is the old, it's an old one, yeah.
Because your eyes seem to be looking upwards a lot of the time.
Oh, I just put it in the camera on in a different direction right now.
Oh, right.
Because it always looks like I'm on the side talking. I saw my video, so I tried to fix it so that it's eye level. Yeah. Does it look better?
Well, it was just different. It looked a bit.
No, it's terrible.
Sorry?
No, it doesn't look better.
Oh, it doesn't look better. Oh no.
It looked a bit strange, really.
Okay, it looks strange. Okay.
Looks like you're looking up to the heavens.
Oh,
Get answers.
I should set it up again the normal way that I did it before. Sorry about that. Yeah, the camera is right there, so it looks like I'm looking up, right? Sorry.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It's okay. It's not your fault.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
It looks quite good, I think, Emerson, because see your eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I try to, it's funny, right? Because, I get emails of people that they're like, we can't see your eyes, when there is light, because I have lights all over, right? So I try to adjust it so that there's no light reflecting the glasses. And that's why probably, but
Yeah,
it is
it's
what it
okay.
is. It doesn't matter how I look.
Oh,
But thank you. Thank you, Corey. We'll chat soon.
yeah. Talking of light and dark,
Yes.
I'm always confused with that because they're all the same thing, I suppose, at one level. But light, there's so much talk in non-duality about the light and the dark being the negative.
Yeah. It's funny, right? Because there's so much talk about non-duality that it creates actually polarity. It polarizes, right? It's either this or that. When it's really trying to express that everything is whole, everything is complete. The light and dark, wrong or right are just words. There's no one wrong, there's no one right, because it's this already, right? So it's so instead sometimes, and again, it's completely all right to, instead of celebration of what the simplicity is, right? It tends to complicate things by creating a wrong or right.
A lot of teachings about light and dark.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So what actually is a hologram?
A hologram is it's a made up, it's like an illusion, right? You think that you're seeing an object, but it's actually empty. It's a technology, you know what I'm saying, that it's an illusion, right? It's they don't have the perfect hologram yet, but they're beginning to come up with it. Like, for example, they have a concert. Do you know the group named ABBA?
Yes.
So they have an ABBA concert right now that they have this appearance of, you know, the four people back in their 30s in concert. And then you would, you know, it will be hard for you to realize that it's not real.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, it's not using a real hologram. Oh, not yet. So they haven't perfected it yet. Someone just messaged that the ABBA show is, but it's a really kind of like, it's almost like it's like a screen, but some people have looked at it. Basically, it's like, it looks realistic. They have used hologram in one of the MTV awards. In I think it was the there's the band called Gorillaz, right? So they had this hologram. So from the audience, it looks like that there is someone there, but it's actually not real. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So it's almost like there's also virtual reality where you put on glasses and then you're looking at what you think that you're in an immersive world or something, right? But it's all simulated. It's all programming.
It could be a bit like a light being shone on an item, an article.
Yes.
Right. So as that light shines on it, you sort of see around it, something like that.
Something like that, yeah. Basically, what you're seeing is not what you think that you're seeing. It's hologram.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's made up, basically. It's an illusion. It's an appearance. Yeah. It seems real. But yeah.
So when you look at a tree, for instance, and I look at a tree,
yeah.
What do you see the same as me?
Without any words, we're all seeing the same thing, although there's no you and I, right? The words tends to label things like tree, dog, Hori, and everything. So when the words are not there, there's this recognition of something, but without the name and everything, it's whole and complete.
Yeah, I get that. I think what I was trying to say was...
And then sometimes when people have glimpses, right, they see the wholeness, but they don't know what it is. So they try to put words in it. They're like, oh, everything is shiny. Or, you know what, there's no one here. It's all complete. You know, it's just all of this beautiful appearance of something that cannot really be labeled. It's really unknowable. So what seems to be appearing is that you're looking at separation, but what's actually appearing is whole.
Yeah, I get that. I think what I was trying to say was when you look at a tree and I look at a tree, although there's no one looking at a tree.
Yeah.
But apparently it's in the story, which you don't really want to talk about.
I don't even know what I'm looking at, to be honest with you, because I can't use the words anymore of what seems to be appearing, right? So for example, in the morning,
but for you, there's no separation between...
There's no one here that so separation is a concept of Emerson. It's a concept, right? So when it's seen that the knower or the witness or the experiencer is an illusion, then even the appearance of separation is also an illusion.
Oh,
yeah. There's nothing special about it. Don't worry. You know what I'm saying? It's just there's nothing special about it. It's just very ordinary, actually. Seeing this, that's not separate. Although division appears in ideas or words that seem to create this, you know, illusion that there's something missing or there's something that I'm seeing. Yeah. It's kind of like seeing that the whole thing collapsed already, that the dream is over, meaning that the dream is seen as what it is. So everything in it, time, Emerson, Corey, is just what is. So what is looking to what is speaking to what is. The unknowable is talking to the unknowable, but even the talking is illusory because there's no time. Someone just posted a picture of a hologram, Corey, for you.
Okay.
It's on the chat.
It's on the chat? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Sometimes when I'm out, like in the woods or walking, it's like the trees, it's like they're inside of me.
Yeah, there's no separation. Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's the division only appears as a thought that there's a tree and there's a you. Without the thought of a tree or you, then it's a knowable, right?
So when that tree is felt like it's part of me, inside of me, that is that sort of a little bit?
It's just it's just trying to trying to express something that cannot be expressed. Yeah. It's like someone has a glimpse of wholeness and they can only talk about it in separation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like seeing something that cannot be described, but you have to describe it. So words kind of like, it seems like the tree was inside and everything. Or someone was talking to me earlier in the week, and they're saying that there's no such thing as distance. There's no distance. There's no, and she was trying to explain it and everything. She goes, but I'm trying to talk about something that cannot be talked about. I'm like, yeah. Yeah. And that's okay too. And that's completely all right.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to have a look in chat and see what a hologram looks like.
Someone actually said here, oh, thank you, Casey. Kata go select it more. Oh, Chrome blocked it. Oh no. Yeah. Do you see it? Do you see it there?
Let me have a look. Chat. Oh. Lost it again now. More. I've got to go to more. So along the bottom, it doesn't say chat.
It's on the chat is right beside the participants.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not share screen. No, that's not it.
No. The one right beside it. It's called chat. This is where you can gossip about the speaker. You know, like you can, but just hold on for a second, Mark. I'm just going to let my doggy in because she's been crying. Just a second.
Oh. I can't find chat. Participants.
Corlin, there may be a
it's so funny, right? When you have a dog that's crying on the door, the moment that you open the dog, she has this big smile. Like, how's it going, Mark?
What were you saying? What?
Oh, my doggy here. I said that, you know, when she's been crying because I closed the door, right? But the moment that I open the door, she has this big smile.
Of course.
As if nothing happened, right? There's no hard feelings. It's just what it is. And now she's trying to throw a ball at me. Hey, Mark.
Trying to say something.
Oh, yeah. I found it. Hey,
you found it. Oh,
yes, there we go. Oh gosh. My microphone. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Looks like a ghost.
Yes.
Right. Thank you, whoever that was.
Tyler. Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Tyler. Great.
Hey, Mark. What's up?
Hey. Yeah. Well, so I guess like for you, it's not like you're not confused. Like you're not confused anymore about this. Like it's not like you're going back and forth between like yeah, like there's no more like erotic whatever with you. Like it's not like what like at some point it seems it's just done. Like you can't sort of go back anymore into whatever this
it's like, you know, it's like the show is over, right? The curtain is up, the gig is up, so to speak, right? It's like well played, you know, well played, right? It's like I'm like, oh my goodness. It's like watching that plot twist, that happened already. Like, like Fight Club. There's no Tyler Durden. Sorry if I ruined it for pop. It's so that's basically it. It's just seeing like that there's no Santa Claus, there's no, it's that, and then it's even that seeming contraction that you never felt before. It's just release. You're like, oh, okay. All of that was just this seeming kind of like heaviness or whatever. I don't even want to call it contraction, because then characters would think that they are that, which is just another story. So it's something that cannot be figured out, and it got figured out that it cannot be figured out. So there's no more trying to go back and forth and trying to understand. It's like looking at the abyss, like looking at the void, and there's nothing to figure out. It's going to be the void, and it's nothing to the void looking at the void, basically. So there's no Emerson. It's just the void, or you can call it like the unknowable, seeing that it's unknowable. So it's unknowable looking at the unknowable. What's being looked at is what's looking. It's just like this, like plot twist, like boom. You're like, oh, what the hell? It's like sanity in this insane thinking that there's separation. So there's no going back. Yeah.
Hey, can I add to that?
Sure.
For market. Just what Emerson was saying, man, like when contraction arises, who says that's contraction? It's like this thing comes up, and if you have nothing else to compare it to anymore.
Yeah. There's not even contraction. That's just becomes another idea. It's just a thought.
Then what is it? Who knows? Yeah, it's just
yeah.
It's kind of like that. Like,
Right.
With a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Or a big ass frown. It just depends. It seems like it's something, but it's Thank you.
Thank you, Casey.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Even saying the look, it's like what is looking at what is like saying basically like separation, where it's more like the looking itself is the void, is the unknowability.
Yeah. There's no more separation. There's not even looking anymore. It's just okay. There's no more seeking, because it's what is being longed for is everything. So where's the individual, basically, right? It's the trees, it's the dog, it's the sound, it's the silence, it's the air. It's this little doggy that's trying to get my attention. It's this one here.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. How old is it now?
Oh, she is 1 year old. She's still she's a COVID baby, right? So just a lot of separation anxiety, which is also what it is, yeah. But a great cuddler. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like you're trying to find
and a great walker, right? She can walk for hours and hours and hours, right? So like 3 hours sometimes with no complaints. Yeah. She's just the only complaint that the dog has when you're separate from her. Just like crying at the door, let me in, let me in.
I thought there was no separation. Poor dog. He's stuck in duality. She
doesn't know what separation is, right? So that's why she's crashing the door.
Yeah. It's like, what's this thing?
What's going on? Yeah.
No, man. It's this thing in the way with my owner. Help!
Thank you, Jonathan. I'm not sure yet. Someone's asking, are you going to have a next weekend? I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I might do it. Yeah, it's I've had about 20 people that responded that they wanted it to do it. But yeah, sure. I'm not sure yet. I'll announce in a couple of days. Yeah.
Do what?
Oh, like a 2-day, like people have been asking. Actually, they've been asking for like a 3-day thing. So I'm just trying to I'm feeling better. But I want to make sure that that I am 100%, you know, I'm saying to do 2-3 days. But there's people that have been asking, yes. So I like the small, you know, the smaller group, to be honest, right? So that it can exhaust the questions, so somebody can come in and exhaust all the questions, which is great. Because sometimes when it's a big group, it's just all like when there's like 100 people, it's like one question after the other, and everybody's just trying to get in to try to ask a question, right? So I like the intimate, small setting, more relaxed like this. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mark.
Thank you for what?
I have no idea. Oh, I see now why people don't like it. Looks like I'm looking up.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, because yeah, so
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So next time I'll adjust it so it's lower, but the light's not on my glasses. So I finally got the glasses off my but it looks like I'm looking up. Yeah, thank you. Well, if there's no more questions, thank you so much, everyone. I'll send a newsletter in a couple of days about next weekend. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a beautiful rest of the day.